Alright fellow ninjas, Thomas Tapp here, coming at you with an awesome tutorial. Again, this is another one that's been requested for a while now, so I'm really happy to be putting this one out. It's the front flip tutorial. So today we're going to be learning and breaking down the front flip. So you might be in the position right now, I've read some of the comments, you can't get enough height with your front flip. You're too afraid to go for the front flip. Or you feel like you just can't tuck tight enough. You keep on landing on your butt, things like this. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the technique that you need to be doing to get your front flip. I'm gonna be sharing with you gradual progression steps to help get over the fear. And then I'm also gonna be sharing with you how to solve those big problem areas. So if you're constantly landing on your butt, you can't get enough height, I'm gonna share with you the most common mistakes that people make when trying to learn their front flip. So let's get started. First things first, this is an advanced acrobatic move. So you want to have a good base level of strength and athleticism first before trying this move. You also want to have moves like your front roll, your front handspring, your handstand, and your basic acrobatics first before trying this advanced move. All right, let's break down the technique. The first thing we want to do is start off with the run up. Your run up, when you're first doing your front flip, you just want average speed, about 50 to 60%. Now, once you get more advanced, you can sprint more into it, and that'll get you more height. That's for more advanced. First, just get a nice jog into it, and then you want to go into a skip step. This is really important because a lot of people make the mistake here, and this will sacrifice a lot of your power and your jump if you mess up on the skip step. So what a lot of people do, and you might be doing this, is you run up for your front flip, and then you jump up high to go into the punch. So what you want to do is keep all the steps low to the ground, okay? Because if you jump up high like this, all that power is now going into the ground instead of into the air and getting that height. So if you keep it low, you keep that power and that momentum into your jump. So make sure in the run up, that's probably the key thing for a lot of us who will make that mistake, is don't jump up too high on the skip step. And to go more into detail on the skip step, this is how I do it. I run, I'm striding, and then I go off my left foot, and then when I jump here, I put my feet together, so it'll look like this to go into the punch. Okay, so that's the skip step. So 50% jog, go into that skip step, and then we go into the second step, and that is your punch. Now, the punch, again, is very vital, very important we do this right. So we want to land on the balls of the feet, and we want to make sure not to bend too much in the knees. We want to treat our legs like springs here. So we don't want to absorb that power. We want to keep that power to transfer it into the air. So what we're going to do is just slightly bend the legs, go off the balls of the feet, and really spring off with the toes. Spring off there. And another thing with the punch is we want to block. Now, blocking is a technique where we take our momentum that's going forward and we transfer it into the air. A lot of people mess up with the blocking by blocking and their body's already forward. So if you block and your body's forward here, you're going to travel too far, you're not going to be able to go up in the air. So with your blocking, you want to have your feet to land slightly in front of you. Okay? So what this does is when you're here and you're landing with the feet slightly in front of you in this position, when you go up into the flip, you're going to be traveling straight up or just a little bit forward, instead of if you're here on the punch and then you're traveling down. Now also, remember this throughout this whole front flip, with the block as well, we want to have our face and our head looking forward. Another mistake a lot of people make is looking down during this. So what this will do is if you look down, it's going to take you towards the ground. So we want to look forward at this part, keep the head neutral and keep the good alignment here, so that way we can, again, take the energy and travel it up and through our body. And as we're going into the punch, while you're here, your arms are going to be going up close to your head here. So they're getting ready to throw up to get that height. So after you get the proper block, you're looking for, you're throwing your arms. This is when we go into the set. This is where we want to get all the height we can going up. So how we create this is when we're blocking, we're going to use the arms now. So remember, while we got into that blocking position, our arms were here. We're going to throw our arms up and around. That's the motion we're going to be having with our arms here, up and around. And I had a friend tell me the way to think about this is if you had a hoodie and you're throwing your hoodie on. So you start off and you're just going to throw that hoodie up and over. That's the motion here. Also with the set, when we throw the arms up here, you want to hit into basically a hollow position in gymnastics. So you're going to be in this position here, so we can have all the energy travel up into the air. So with the set, it's important that we get the ultimate height. So what it will feel like, because we'll go from the set directly into the tuck, into step 4. And what it will feel like is you'll hit the set, you'll get that ultimate height here, you'll leave the ground just for a little bit. It's like a split second where you reach that ultimate height, and then you're going into your tuck. So to initiate the tuck, like we talked about, the arms are going up and around, and this is also when you begin to tuck, and you tuck your chin down at this point as well. So you're going fully committing into the spin and into the tuck. So we're here, tucking in, and this is where it's important that we tuck as tight as possible so we can spin really fast. A lot of people have the problem where they're not able to tuck very fast. So this is where you might have to develop core strength and core flexibility to be able to do this and get that spin. We'll talk about that later. So with the tuck, you want to grab, I like to grab on the shins here because I'll tuck really tight, like here. So you'll see when I do mine, I grab out the shins. Some people grab just above or just below the kneecaps here. I like to go around the shin area and tuck real tight. So you hold the tuck, and this is where this is when it will take repetition, because to get the landing, we'll move on to the next step. To get the landing, it's a blind landing from here, because when you're spinning around, you really can't see where you're landing until you're already in this position. So what we're going to do is, once you get a full circle, you're going to release the legs out and do the landing. So we're going to land on the balls of the feet, absorb all the impact, and you really want to focus on trying to land on the balls of the feet here, because if you land on the heels, you're going to have all that energy travel up. That's where you get lower back issues and things like this. So that's the technique. We're going to follow those steps. Remember this: nice, low to ground, smooth run up, punch, feet slightly in front, springing off the toes here, keeping the legs nice and straight, forming that set with the arms, throwing that hoodie on, going into the tuck, grabbing the shins, opening up, landing on the balls of the feet. All right, now that we know the technique, let me share with you some gradual progression steps to help develop this move, because you might be too afraid just to go for it. Totally understandable. So the first progression step is get your front roll. It's a simple thing, just master your front roll. Then you want to master your dive roll. This helps get more comfortable with going with more height, also getting comfortable with going forward in that forward rotation. Third, we want to get our front handspring. Now, this is going to help a lot with developing that confidence with performing a front flip motion. And then after this, you'll be able to have more of that confidence to go into your front flip. And then an easy way to help get comfortable with the front flip is use objects that will help you. So for example, if you have access to a gym, use some mats. You can stack up a mat and do a front flip off of a higher mat, so that way you get more height, so you don't have to jump as high. Also, trampoline is very awesome to use for getting over this fear. And that's like one of the easiest ways, I think, is you find a trampoline, you can really get comfortable with that front flip without having to worry about getting the height. So now let's break down some of the most common problems that we have with the front flip, because I look through the comments and I see these usual problems that occur, and if you're suffering from this, I want to help you out with this. So one of the biggest ones is not getting enough height with your front flip, not getting enough height with the jump. Now, like we talked about in the technique, this could be a few things going on here. Your technique might be you're doing too big of a jump at the beginning on that skip step. So fix that. Make sure you're doing the proper skip step. Second thing it could be is you're not blocking properly. You're not blocking with your feet slightly in front and with your body open going up. You might be leaning too far forward here, taking away all your height. The other thing is you might not be setting properly, so you might not be setting up with height. So those could be the things you could be doing wrong with your technique if you're not getting height. But probably for most of us, it's not even the technique as much as our athleticism and developing a good, strong jump. So what you want to do is focus on this. We need to be spinning, and any type of acrobatics, any type of parkour, any type of training, we need to be conditioning our body so we're very athletic. So focus on jump training. So a few things you can do 3 times a week. Do 3 sets of 10 tuck jumps. So you're going to jump up as high as you can, tuck the legs in, land, and then repeat. Work on that. Also, work on 3 sets of about 10, going from your run up into that punch and just work on getting that height and going into that hollow position. So you're gonna run slow and work on jumping up. If you can't jump too high on that, like for instance, I can jump pretty high because I've trained it so many times from just doing that. So practice those jumps. Another thing is working on this motion here going up, because a lot of the jump is all in the ankles and leaving the toes here. We get that good, you're gonna see a lot of increases in your jump. And I actually have a workout that a lot of guys have been using now, and now they can dunk a basketball. They're getting inches in their vertical just by doing these simple ballet exercises. So if you want to check out that video, click here. You're gonna see some awesome results by incorporating this into your training. The second problem I see and I hear about is not being able to spin fast enough with your tuck. You're not able to tuck quick enough. And this is a big problem. So we want to be able to do this and do it very well. And probably the biggest thing holding you back if you're having trouble spinning is core flexibility, hip flexibility, and core strength. Because the core is so essential, again, in acrobatics, things like this, we want to train this. So a few exercises you can do, again, along with those jump tucks, because you're going to be jumping up, tucking the legs up. So we go there, having that down, so you can see where that resembles the front flip, because we're going to jump up. We want to get in that tuck super fast. Another thing is ab rows. You can do them nice and slow and controlled here. Just develop the core strength here. Going down and up, down and up. And what we can do to simulate the tuck is we can go down slow, and then we can quickly go into that tuck. Go down slow, quickly go into that tuck. And we want to develop this core strength. So do that about, again, 3 times a week, about 20 ab rows, get that core strength. Also, doing just planks. You want to be comfortable in this position. Great exercise for developing that core. And one more exercise to help with the tuck, because some of us might not be flexible enough to grab a tight tuck. If you can only tuck here, you're opening yourself up and you're not going to be able to spin near as fast as if you can go here. See what I'm saying? So you want to get that flexibility. A great exercise that we use is just the mobility squat. So you go down and you want to be able to go into a full squat here. You see, I'm already into a tuck position naturally. So work on that flexibility, getting down into a full squat position here. Another great exercise is the carry through. You might have to lift yourself up on some yoga blocks, but you're going to walk your hand or your feet through your hands here. Because this type of flexibility, as you can see, is great for getting in that small position to spin a lot faster. And the last thing that I see a lot of people mess up on with their front flip is where their head's looking. A lot of people, they either get too afraid or they want to be able to spot the ground or look down at the ground. So when they're going to their front flip, they're already here, looking down, they're already cheating the front flip. So really focus on that when you're training this. Make sure not to have the shoulders and the head look down when you're going to the front flip. Really open it up so you can get that full extension here and then go into your front flip. So those are the most common mistakes that I see and simple ways to fix them. It can be with your technique, but probably a lot of us, it's going to be that conditioning. Especially if you're younger watching this, you might not have a lot of the strength that you need and the jump abilities to be able to do this easily. So train and condition your body to be able to do this. It's very important, and that goes with anything else in acrobatics, parkour, and just movement. So that's the front flip tutorial. I wanted to give you all the things that you need to get this down. Now, if you're in the academy, I'm gonna give you a lot more extra tips, really breaking down even further. Also, if you're out there and you want a full schedule, you want someone to be able to show you step by step, week by week, this specific training to condition your body, to gradually learn these moves to take you from level 0 all the way to getting your dive roll, your front handspring, then mastering your front flip and even taking it further, then I want you to check out our buddy DeAndre Jones' front flip program. It's the ultimate front flip program, and honestly I haven't seen any program that goes into much detail and that walks you through the steps like his program does. And he already has guys learning their front flips. So check that out. If you're really serious about learning your front flip, getting it down, check out that program. It's down in the description. As always, train safe. Make sure to implement those tips I share with you. Also, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below for any more tutorials you want, and I'll see you in the next video.